The thing about Fortnite fans is that they don't really care about the gameplay of the video game. Look at Fortnite OG, for example, where they added ziplines and ascenders several Chapter 1 seasons before they were added to the original Chapter 1 chapter, as well as how they brought sprinting, sliding, and walking while healing into the mode. All of these changes make the game mode objectively better than what actually happened in Chapter 1, but that doesn't deter people from wanting those changes to be reverted for the sole reason that it's not accurate to what actually happened in Chapter 1. Sprites as a concept were first introduced for Chapter 6 Season 1, but later revamped for Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 3, Runners. They're basically just little pixels that run around and they all have special powers to help you in-game. The revamps I mentioned are Sprite Extraction and Collection, new mechanics that are seemingly staying for the rest of Chapter 7, as well as maybe even further down the line. A lot of the sprites are useless. Duck sprites heal you, but only while you emote or use jam tracks. Punk sprites rarely give infinite ammo. King sprites increase pickaxe damage. Benny Jr. sprite requires you to slide kick people for its power to be activated. Fish stick sprites increase movement speed in general as well as movement speed when you're being shot at, but neither of these are fast enough for a real change. Cube sprites give you a permanent overdrive effect, but only while you're in the storm, and gem sprites give you a 30% fall damage reduction. In an era where theyre build has the passive ability to grant infinite glider redeploys. Hell, the homophobic peanut sprite is more useful for gameplay and winning the game than all the sprites I just mentioned. So what about the majority of the sprites that are actually useful? Therein lies the problem of this community and sprite system: narcissism. When you lose a sprite, the only way to get it back is to spend sprite dust, and the level of the sprite that you lost gets reset as well, which means that the power of the actual sprite gets lowered to the base level as well. Not the mythic variant sprites though, those abilities stay stagnant. This isn't too much of a hindrance. The sprites aren't expensive in my opinion, and sprite dust is ridiculously easy to farm, but it seems as if the idea of spending it for a level reset rubs this community the wrong way. The vast majority of this community is very addicted to sprites, and I was similar. I truly never cared for collecting every single sprite, as I was just mostly interested in the mastery rewards. If you watch my shit-stained mobile video, you know that I do like collecting cosmetics in the game for several reasons, one being that I could need them down the line for a locker preset. When the rest of the free rewards dropped and they reduced the required amount of maxed out sprites to obtain all mastery rewards from 100 to 70, I stopped caring for the sprites. I don't care enough to continue to 117 because there is no reason to. You can only put the base sprites into the Guardian skin, and I will literally never use a sprite pod backbling after this season. Not to mention how easy it is to get new sprites. All you have to do is just e-beg random people on social media. That's how I got like a third of my sprites, not by opening every chest and stealing them off dead people, but by e-begging. And mastering sprites isn't hard either. Just do bot lobbies. These sprites aren't really impressive, to be honest. What I've noticed about this community is that they don't really use the sprites for their in-game passives, just for mastery. Ghost and boss sprites, for example, are very useful for fights, but again, I never see people using them in general. I know I am just a pubs player, but it's really weird how it's okay to just give up the abilities of going invisible while reloading and increasing your base health. I believe this ties back into the point I made before with how it costs sprite dust for a base level sprite, and how the level of the sprite dictates the strength of the sprite's passive. To make something clear, if you master a sprite and then lose it, the sprite is still mastered, as it still has the crown above it, but it shows a level 1 after you spend the sprite dust. This could rub people the wrong way, as they may prefer to have every sprite in their inventory have a level 5 rather than a level 1, even if it's still mastered. I do not believe this is a direct reason for why people don't bring out their sprites for the benefits, but it could play a dormant reason. To add, the power hours are a blatant example of what's wrong with this season. It's no surprise that people feel the need to always complete their collection of sprites, and that's where power hours come in. Do you have every cube sprite except Boss and Batman? Hop into the power hour time frame, where drop rates for all cube sprites are greatly increased. A majority of the player base has been in this predicament several times throughout the season, me included, and as a result, these power hours have a major league surge in player numbers. Like every time they do them, there's at least 1 million players on Battle Royale that are praying just to get their rare sprites. It's crazy, and therein lies the problem. If Epic Games sees they can just create a system where people feel forced to collect pixels and not to play the game and enjoy the gameplay, then Epic can force people to get on in specific time frames in order to artificially inflate the player numbers. This isn't a good thing, by the way. Game devs should be able to explain that their players actually want to play the game and not collect lame versions of Pokemon. It really shows how far the game has devolved from gameplay that people actually love to watered down sludge, the video game. Twist. The sprite system of Chapter 7 Season 3 affects this community terribly. Squad Fills has been genuinely unplayable all season. All anyone does in it is just drop on the edge of the map to find, collect, master, and extract sprites. No one plays as a team anymore, just wasting their squad mates' times when they could literally just play squads no-fills if they want to work on their precious sprites. It's astounding how you can't play the team-based game with randoms like how you could in like every other season before this one. Squads fills has turned into a hellhole that is impossible to win, not because of skill-based matchmaking or anything, but because no one wants to play as a squad due to their low IQ. It's really sad. Chapter 7 Season 3 of Fortnite Battle Royale is a 2 out of 10 at best. As much as I do love the gameplay and the new guns, the sprites are literally the only new content that they've put out all season. And not even the battle pass is trying to save this season because wow, this is one of the worst skin selections I've ever seen in my life. I love Fortnite, but between this, Disney, the unfortunate layoffs, and game mode deletions, the future of Fortnite is looking like shit. I've been playing this game ever since Chapter 1 Season 3 and have been through every up and down this game has seen since. I really do not want Fortnite to devolve into what sprite collection will inevitably lead to, but the sprite confirmation is really looking like another nail in this coffin. I hope my words will inspire a change for the best. Wow, 4 remixes of characters that all already have their base skins in the shop. That literally only exists so Epic can make easy money from porn addicts. Martian Manhunter, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, Killer Croc, Hawkman, Hawkwoman, Aquaman, Scarlet Spider, Mr. Bean, Captain Man and Kid Danger, the comic accurate Fantastic Four, Electro, Vulture, Quicksilver, Miss Marvel, and the Riddler all continue to be ignored so this can be prioritized. Yay.